Okay, so here's something interesting happening over in the UK. Seems the government's rolling out a pretty major requirement for crypto firms.
Oh, yeah. What's the deal?
It looks like starting January 1st, 2026, they'll need to report basically every single customer trade and transfer. Much more detail than before.
Wow. Okay. Every single one. That sounds like a significant change.
It really does, and the amount of info they want is, well, it's a lot.
Right. So in this deep dive, let's maybe unpack that. We've got this Cointelegraph article that lays it out.
Good idea.
Our mission really is to get a handle on what these rules actually mean, why they're doing it, and maybe how it stacks up against, say, the EU's approach.
Yeah, so you listening can kind of grasp where things are heading with crypto regulation.
Exactly. Give you a clearer picture of this whole evolving landscape.
All right, so let's get into the specifics then. January 1st, 2026 is the date, and it hits UK crypto firms.
Yep. And like you said, it's not just big transfers. It's every trade, every movement of crypto by their customers.
Every single one.
And the data points, it's quite granular. They're asking for the customer's full name, for starters,
Okay.
then their home address, and their tax identification number, too.
Right, the TIN. So pretty personal stuff.
Definitely. And on top of that, for each transaction, they need to log which cryptocurrency was used and the exact amount that was moved.
That level of detail, I mean, that sounds like a heavy lift, especially maybe for smaller firms.
Well, absolutely. It could seriously ramp up the compliance work. You might see, some market consolidation or maybe firms looking elsewhere to places with slightly looser rules.
And it's not just individuals, is it? The article mentions companies, trusts, charities, too.
That's right. If they're using UK crypto platforms, their transactions are also covered by these reporting rules. It seems like HMRC, the UK tax authority, wants a really complete picture.
A wide net, for sure.
And there are teeth to this. If firms don't comply, or if their reporting is inaccurate.
Penalties.
Yeah. The article mentions potential fines up to 300 British pounds, but get this, per user.
Per user. Ouch. For a platform with thousands of users, that could get very expensive very quickly.
It really could, which, brings us to the why. What's pushing the UK government to put these pretty strict measures in place?
Well, the official reason seems to be it's part of adopting the OECD's framework, the Crypto Asset Reporting Framework, or CARF.
Ah, okay, CARF.
So fundamentally, it's about increasing transparency for tax purposes, making sure crypto profits get reported like any other income.
Right, and that fits into a broader trend, doesn't it? Building a more solid regulatory footing for crypto generally.
Seems so.
The article suggests the bigger picture is trying to support industry growth while also, crucially, protecting consumers. That old balancing act.
Always a balancing act with new tech.
Yeah.
And it's not happening out of the blue either. The article points back to Chancellor Rachel Reeves introducing a draft bill, was it April this year?
That sounds right, yeah. Aimed at bringing crypto exchanges, custodians, that sort of thing, more firmly under the regulatory umbrella.
And the goal there was explicitly about tackling scams and fraud, which have been, a real issue in this space.
Definitely. And there's that quote from Chancellor Reeves, which kind of sums it up. She said something like, "Today's announcement sends a clear signal. Britain is open for business, but closed to fraud, abuse, and instability."
So open for legit business, tough on the bad actors. That's the message they're trying to send.
Precisely. Trying to position the UK as a, safe and reliable place for crypto, but not a haven for illicit activity.
It's interesting timing, too, because crypto ownership in the UK has apparently shot up.
Oh.
Yeah, the piece mentions a Financial Conduct Authority study from November 2024. It found something like 12% of UK adults owned crypto last year.
12%? Wow. How does that compare?
Well, back in 2021, it was apparently only 4%. So that's a huge jump in just a few years.
4 to 12%. Yeah, that's significant growth. And I guess that increase almost forces the regulator's hand, doesn't it? Makes the need for clear rules much more urgent.
You'd think so. More people involved means higher stakes, more potential for issues if things aren't clear.
Exactly. More need for consumer protection and market stability.
So, okay, that's the UK's path. But the article also contrasts it a bit with the EU, right, with their MiCA regulation.
It does, yeah. The markets in crypto assets regulation, there are some key differences emerging.
What are the main ones?
Well, one thing highlighted by this MiCA Crypto Alliance group is about foreign stablecoin issuers.
Stablecoins, right, the ones pegged to, like the dollar or euro.
Exactly. It looks like the UK might let foreign issuers operate there without needing specific UK registration.
And the EU.
MiCA, under the EU rules, has stricter registration requirements for pretty much everyone operating within the bloc. So the UK might be a bit more open on that front.
Interesting. Could that attract certain types of stablecoin businesses to the UK, maybe?
Potentially, yeah.
Hmm,
It could make the UK look more attractive for stablecoin innovation, perhaps. But, it also brings risks if those foreign entities aren't overseen properly.
true. What else? Any other differences?
Another point is about volume. The article suggests the UK might not put caps on stablecoin transaction volumes.
Whereas the EU might.
Yeah, MiCA includes provisions for potential controls on large-scale stablecoins to manage systemic risk. So the UK might allow for, bigger flows of stablecoin money without those specific caps.
Which again could attract businesses that use stablecoins heavily for payments or trading, perhaps.
It could. It seems the UK is taking a slightly more, let's say, flexible approach in certain areas, especially around stablecoins, compared to the EU's comprehensive kind of bespoke MiCA framework.
So different philosophies playing out.
It looks that way. How these different approaches affect the market in the long run, well, that'll be really interesting to watch.
Okay, let's try and sum this up then. From 2026, UK crypto firms face mandatory, very detailed reporting on customer transactions.
Yep. Name, address, tax ID, crypto type, amount, the works.
The main drivers seem to be tax transparency, aligning with that OECD framework, and cracking down on fraud.
Right. Part of a bigger regulatory push we've seen building.
The sheer amount of data required is definitely notable.
It is.
And when we look across the channel, the UK's approach, particularly on stablecoins, shows some clear differences compared to the EU's big MiCA regulation package.
Different paths being taken there.
So for you listening, keeping track of these regulations is, well, it's becoming pretty crucial, isn't it? Whether you're investing, working in the industry, or just watching how digital finance evolves.
Absolutely. These rules are definitely going to shape how crypto works in the UK, and they could influence what happens elsewhere, too.
Right. So maybe a final thought to leave everyone with. We're seeing these different regulatory styles emerge globally, the UK kind of weaving crypto into existing structures, the EU building something new with MiCA. How might this sort of patchwork of global rules affect crypto adoption overall? And what about moving crypto across borders?
Yeah, it really makes you think about that constant tension, doesn't it, between regulating effectively, allowing for innovation, and, protecting people's privacy in this whole new world of digital money. It's a